I mean, obviously you're saying that you're magnetic now, and I totally agree with you, and I'm saying you're magnetic now. But on that journey of becoming magnetic, you said you were a jerk. So between being a jerk and being magnetic, it has to have a story in there of something that you had to overcome. Like, what is the worst case that has happened in that time frame that you had to overcome?
Well, let's go back to 2006. So, right out of college, I opened a game store,
Hmm.
board games, role playing games, all kinds of geeky stuff. That led me the opportunity to launch a Rocky Horror Picture Show cast. And I was also was a co founder of a science fiction convention.
Hmm.
So, with the Rocky Horror Picture Show cast, I was one of three directors. And it was a bit of an autocratic structure. The directors were directors until they were removed. There was no like terms or elections. We're just kind of there. And my role was determining who went on stage each week as an actor in Shadowcast. And I had a system in place, so it was very algorithmic. There wasn't a lot of personal judgment, but I was young and kind of aggressive and jerky, and so people had the sense that I was, commanding my power, and they better not cross me, because you cross him, you're not going on stage. And there was a lot of politicking going on, because there's a whole lot of young and insecure people in the community. And I did a lot more talking than listening.
Hmm.
And I thought I was just, well, I got the politics, but I got the power here, and I got everything under control. And then one day, I got notice that they were activating the leadership removal process. Now, the irony is I'd written the charter. So I was now being removed by the process that I had written, hoisted by my own petard, you could say.
Hmm.
And my plan, I was all ready to answer all those charges and tell them all why they were so wrong, and how they could take it and shove it, because this was, I founded this cast. I'm going to lead this cast. And these people got my back. It takes 2/3 to remove a director, and I was removed.
Hmm.
And I realized in retrospect that if I'd gone into that room and I had listened and let everyone say what they needed to say, and nodded or maybe taken notes, or said something to acknowledge, like, I hear what you're saying, I understand why that upset you, or even better yet, ask a question like, what would you have rather I do in that situation, or how would you like to see me change, or those kinds of things that say, I admit that I have done wrong and that I have failings, and I would like to improve, and I'd like your help. I think I would have won that vote unanimously.
Hmm.
But instead, I went there all like, you can't kick me out. I built this place, and I got my power base, and I'm all. And of course, when it was over at the time, I'm like, my friends turned on me, and I've been betrayed. And I was creating an unpleasant environment. Of course, they kicked me out. They were there for fun. And we were making it like so serious and dramatic. And looking back, I'm like, wow, that 26-year-old Michael was kind of a jerk. But in retrospect, I learned that had I been humble and had I listened to what people's concerns were, and been open to, because I was open to learning, but I wasn't willing to be vulnerable to everyone.
Hmm.
And so even my way of trying to learn, someone would bring something to me and I'd be like, well, who said that? Now I'm saying who said that because I want the details, because I can't fix something if I don't know what I'm doing. But it certainly sounded a lot like, all right, you better tell me who that was, because I'm going to have words with them. Which maybe is not the best way to lead to self-improvement.
So I think the next time you tell that story, you should be wearing a black turtleneck and almost identical to Steve Jobs. That's what it sounded like. Like you came off like Steve to a little bit, right? They kicked you out your own corporation. You were
Mm-hmm.
kind of like headstrong, and everything else that Steve was is kind of what you're
Mm-hmm.
depicting as yourself to be.